Why are moms emotionally exhausted all the time? Why are moms always feeling guilty? Why do moms demean their self worth so much? And finally, why do moms sacrifice their personal needs and well being? As we go through this episode, you will be surprised to realize that the underlying reason for most of the moms' hardships is their people pleasing nature.
Hey mommies! We know you're tired and you're here for a reason.
We are two moms just looking to unwind after a long day. So come join our rants and let's make this journey a little less lonely, one episode at a time.
Welcome to our podcast, Mom vs. World. I happened to visit one of my friends a few months back and she offered him some store-bought cookies. Until that day, he had never had anything processed or direct refined sugar. I used to make cookies and snacks with natural sweeteners like dates. He was only 2 years old, and the same was her son. But her son immediately grabbed a cookie and he started eating it. So I couldn't stop my son because I thought it'll be rude and it'll be like I'm pointing out at her son. So I just let my son eat the cookie. And after going back home, I felt so stupid. I felt so bad that I prioritized my people pleasing nature over my son.
It is surprising to hear that we would put our own child in that situation to please others. I mean, I don't get it. We love our children the most, but right now we are proving that we prioritize other people more than our own children. I think such a nature is more visible in moms because that is when the consequences are the most dire, right?
Yeah, even if our relatives or friends bully our child just for fun, just make fun out of them, just crack jokes on them, they might feel they are silly, but we know that is affecting our son. Maybe it'll affect him in a long run, but we just let it happen because we don't want to be rude to the guests. So
And you can't even use those big words like my son is feeling self-conscious, it will affect his self-image, or that my daughter will develop insecurities. You will definitely be ridiculed
the
for it.
reaction will be, what? You're going too
Exactly.
far. You're thinking too
Yeah.
far.
Overthinking, exactly, right?
Yeah.
You're overanalyzing and all that.
Yeah.
Because people who don't respect boundaries, who think it's just harmless fun, obviously are not aware of how it affects the child and the mom as well. We know what's happening, we can look into the future, but we cannot do anything about it. We ourselves can't stop ourselves from doing that.
And because of this nature, we also succumb to peer pressure a lot. We end up doing things what the other moms are doing or what our friends are doing. Even if we don't believe in those ideas, we end up doing the same thing, like putting our son in similar schools or buying him the similar gadgets, something like that.
True, even something that huge like changing schools, etc., it goes along with people pleasing, and such big life decisions are also dependent on how we need to be nice to other people around us.
Most of us don't even realize that the reason behind most of the mom issues is people pleasing.
True.
Remember the day when we realized we were discussing about all the episodes, earlier episodes like mom guilt, identity crisis, postpartum depression,
Yes.
all that. And while we were brainstorming, everything just boiled down to people pleasing.
Yeah, we thought, we should put everything in just people pleasing episode because
Yeah.
everything comes back to
And
this.
so
Seriously.
that is when we were like, there were so many invisible effects of people pleasing. We have to talk about this.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is not something you can flip overnight and move on. It is this deep-rooted behavioral issue that is not going away anytime soon, right? It looks like, okay, what's wrong with being nice? But it's not just being nice. It's like an addiction. It's hard to stay that way, and it's even harder to come out of it.
It is so strongly ingrained in us. We were brought up in such a way. We were brought up we were told that we have to respect others over ourselves all the time.
Yeah, I remember being in a lot of situations where our relatives compared us with other kids constantly, or belittled us about not knowing certain things, or just plain made fun of us for the way we looked or spoke, or anything else for that matter. And no one in the house defended us. Everyone around just laughed along in those situations and moved on along. And our parents weren't aware that that was actually affecting us deeply. And
Yeah.
we know that repeated exposure to such things does make a huge impact. And in the name of being polite to guests, we got ignored in that aspect for sure. I mean, in our culture, guests and elders are supposed to be gods, but what about us if these gods are treating us like that?
True, I know. At least today's parents are aware of the long run effects. I think back then our parents didn't have any awareness about
Yeah.
these effects, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Such situations were so exhausting for our mom, especially. More than half of the work is to please everyone, especially when there is an event or a festival or anything, any gathering at the house, right? More than half of the work is about getting people to have a good time. That is a lot of hard
That's
work.
true. And our parents and in laws force us to follow all these traditions just because they want to please everybody around them. Even if they don't
Yes.
believe in those traditions, they expect us to do the puja or dress in such a way or talk to people in
Yeah,
such a
it is
way.
that social standing that we cannot get away from, even though we don't believe in that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when we are talking about this whole people pleasing thing, it's not as simple as being nice and being polite. Pleasing is a much bigger task than it sounds. I don't remember our mom ever saying no to anyone in our house ever. I don't remember her sharing her opinions openly in front of guests. She is a kind, loving, intelligent person, but that never comes across. It was all about complying to other people's opinions and needs and making everybody feel validated, except for herself.
Yeah, I think that is because we have such low sense of self-importance. We don't want that limelight on our problems because we feel like we are not that important that we discuss our problems. It is not only with our mom, we do the same thing now.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, we
yeah.
don't want to burden other people with our problems because we feel like we are not that important.
Yeah, I think only after becoming moms we have realized the intensity of how much of that behavior is there within us. Because I remember we were complaining about our mom being a people pleaser, but then right now we are so very close to how much of a people pleaser she was. I mean, we keep thinking that we've improved a lot, but then I think there's still a long, long way to go. I think it comes from the fear of hearing the reaction. All women go through this. What's the big deal,
Oh, that's
right?
the worst thing you can get.
Yeah. First of all, just because all women go through this doesn't make it any less painful. In this world, we have this misconception the most hurtful things and painful things happen to only the rarest of people who are in very, very bad situation or who have very, very bad luck. But I think most and almost all women casually go through so much and barely ever get a chance to say anything about it, right? You don't get to say you're on your period in public, for example. That's a very small example. And somehow all women problems have been conveniently pushed into this category of private and unsuitable for discussion or just plain uncomfortable.
Yeah, so we end up saying whatever people want to hear and we do whatever is acceptable to the society.
Yeah, if you're not being unnecessarily extra nice, you are rude. If you don't accept insults or hurtful jokes, then you don't have a sense of humor. That reminds me of this particular stand up comedy session where this guy is working the crowd and he asks this woman what she does for work. And she says, I raise my kids.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this too. Yeah, it was so frustrating. Yeah.
Yes, so you know what's coming next. For the next 15 minutes, he goes on and on about how raising kids is not a valid form of work. He puts her down for making the mistake of saying that she raised her children. Yes, I know you're not allowed to find stand up comedy insulting somehow in this country because humor gets a free pass everywhere, right? But you can't deny the fact that you are promoting the that existing ideology that mothers don't make a valid contribution to family and society. It makes me wonder, did his mother not work hard to raise him? Did he just grow up by himself while his mother was watching and doing nothing?
Yeah. He literally told, "Oh, so you're watching them
Yes,
raise."
he even
Like,
compares children to plants.
know.
Like, you watched
Yeah.
your children grow and you sat
I know.
just like you
I
watched your
hated it.
plants
I
grow.
was so angry too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only with some other person talking about us that way, even if a group of friends or relatives we are sitting together are making fun of us, we just stand there and take it and even maybe laugh or laugh awkwardly. But we don't oppose that behavior because we are worried that maybe we'll be labeled as arrogant or ill mannered, so we just take it.
Yeah, it's almost as if self-respect is disrespect to other people.
Yeah.
If you don't follow other people's advice, you're impolite. You cannot have a constructive debate without offending people. You
Never.
cannot have conflicting views. You cannot have opinions that differ to other people's opinions. You have to keep playing along
Yeah.
for God knows how
And
long.
men can totally do a constructive debate, right?
Yes. Yeah, they'll if they step over your point, and even if they repeat what you just said, they'll still be the one that will be sounding smart. And
Yeah. And if there is some get together or gathering, we have this urge to maintain peace amongst everybody there somehow, and we want nobody to misunderstand anybody. If there is some slight argument or some disagreement, we just go in and say, no, he meant this or she meant that. We just try to
Yeah,
calm
that is
everybody
so
down.
weird.
Even if you believe in one person, you still make sure you're making the other person feel good.
Yeah, even when people are trying to tell you to not interfere or to stay away or to even shut up, we put up with that disrespect and continue to validate them and settle things between them. I don't know why we put ourselves in that situation. It kind of reminds me of how we associate suffering with goodness. Not just we ourselves, even other people's outlook on women is that the more she suffers, the nicer she is, or when she continues to put up with bad behavior, she has a good heart, and we associate that goodness with people pleasing others. It's like this really bad chain reaction that we constantly get stuck in. I just hate how hard it is to get over.
And it'll be too late by the time we realize how much we have affected ourselves and our children. If we keep going this way, we end up resenting everybody around us, and it creates a lot of mental exhaustion and a lot of guilt on top of what we already carry. And most importantly, today people do recognize if you're a people pleaser, so it's not worth keeping up with that act. I know it's not easy to come out of it, but we should work on it starting from today.
I really hope we could resonate with you, because every feeling is valid in motherhood. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us for more such content.